Hello Accounting 101 students. In this video, we're going to be going over the cost of fixed assets that are described in Chapter 9. So in Chapter 9, we learn about various fixed assets, some of the categories that you want to be aware of, and we're talking about fixed asset on the balance sheet that are within the long-term assets section. And within the long-term assets section, we're talking about the property, plant, and equipment, which is referred to as PPE. And some of the categories that you want to be aware of is land. So land is special compared to some of the other items that we're going to list because land is the only item in property, plant, and equipment that is not depreciated. We have land improvements. So those are the improvements made on the physical land. So something like a driveway or fencing would be considered a land improvement. And because that needs to be replaced from time to time, it would be depreciated. We learn about buildings, which are going to be used for a number of years. We talk about equipment or machinery. And the equipment and machinery will be used for a number of years, and over time it would need to be replaced or repaired. So we're going to depreciate the equipment and machinery. And we have our furniture and fixtures. So tables and chairs and things like that that we use in our business. We also will see computers, for example, that might be used for 3 to 5 years. So these are all of the assets that a company has. And for each of these, you should think about what types of costs you would include in the balance sheet in addition to just the cash price. Because you should include all the costs that are incurred to have the asset in place and ready and available for use within the company. So the first example we're going to go over is the example with land. So this company is purchasing land, and we start off with the cash price. So we're going to include the cash price as part of the cost. In order to acquire this land, we need to pay accrued taxes. So those are taxes that are owed on the land but have not yet been paid on the land. We would also include attorney fees in order to acquire the land. And also for a land acquisition, the buyer and the seller would also be paying their respective portion of the real estate broker's commission. And also for the land, you might have some debris, the land might be uneven, so the cost of clearing and grading the land would be included. So to answer this question, you're going to add all of these items. Okay, so you're going to add all of these costs to be considered as part of the cost of the land. So you can take some time to do the math here. You're basically just going to add up all these numbers. So the next question that we're going to go over will be a different fixed asset. So in this example, we have the cost of purchasing a truck. And for the truck, we're going to start off with our cash price. So that is the price at the dealership. And then we want to consider some of these additional factors and assess whether they belong on that balance sheet or if they should be expensed in the income statement. So the first one that we want to consider is the accident insurance. So that's the insurance that you'll have on the driver that is going to be utilizing that truck. But because this expense needs to be paid every year, it's going to be part of our insurance expense on the income statement, and it will not be considered part of the truck itself because it's not necessarily attached to the truck itself. The next example that we have is with the sales tax. So in order to acquire this truck, we had to pay sales tax. So we're going to include that cost. The next example is the motor vehicle license. So this license will also be expensed. So we're going to see something like a license expense that's going to be reported on the income statement. And the last example that we have is painting and lettering the truck. So we might have our company logo or a company name painted or included on the truck. And because that kind of serves as like a dual purpose, it kind of helps with advertising. It's physically attached to the truck. We're going to include that as part of the cost of the truck. So in order to answer this question, you're going to include in the cash price of $27,170. You're going to add in the sales tax, 1270, and you're going to include the cost of painting and lettering, $2170. And that's how you're going to arrive at your answer for this question. Also, one of the things I wanted to mention is that if you had to pay any delivery charges in order to obtain that truck, or any insurance while that truck is being delivered, those would be included as well. So please take a very careful read of the chapter in our textbook for additional examples of what you would include in the cost of each of the types of fixed assets discussed. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video.